Think back to your childhood for a moment. Imagine what your dream playhouse looked like. What did you love about cubby houses and playhouses as a kid? I thought about what I loved about playhouses when I was younger and took that fun and sense of whimsy and adventure and worked with that on this project. My name is Sylvia, and I have been commissioned to design an indoor children's playhouse for the client's niece, Liana, aged 4, and nephew, Jesse, aged 6. I will present for you my design concept for a playhouse, some sketches from the design process, a digital materials and samples board, and finally I will explain the intents of my particular design. One of the key things I like to remember in the design process is to always keep the end user in mind. In this case, it was Jesse and Liana. I wanted to design a playhouse that they would truly enjoy, so as part of my research, I asked my own nephew and my partner's nieces what their idea of a great playhouse would be like. These youngsters are similar in age to Jesse and Liana and also share their interests in dolls, fairies, planes and cars. I then searched for some images of other indoor playhouses for inspiration and ideas. I saw features such as slides, little tables, soft colours, windows and simple interior decor. I considered the client's parameters though. The playhouse must be no bigger than 1.5 metres by 2 metres, and it should be easy to assemble and disassemble. So it was then that I was particularly drawn to creating a playhouse that featured exciting colours, use of different textures, was uncluttered and space-friendly, and was also easy to dismantle. My sketches experimented with different sizings of the playhouse, the use of different eco-friendly materials for the main structure, e.g. cardboard and wood, a couple of ways to hold wood and cardboard together while still being able to be dismantled easily, and variations to exterior and interior decor appealing to both Jesse and Liana. My initial design was a traditional rectangular house shape and had shaped cutouts in the windows of butterflies and stars. It was decorated in a way that both boys and girls with typical interests would like it, with feedback from the client who suggested the playhouse be pushed further and designed non-traditionally. The playhouse evolved into something completely different, while still holding the sense of fun at its core, which I didn't want to lose in particular, especially for a design with its end user in mind. So it was after initial conversations with my nephew and nieces, my research and design experimentation, feedback from the client, use of creative thinking methods such as Scamper, morphological analysis and brainstorming with colleagues, that I developed a final design for the playhouse that Liana and Jesse would love. The structure of the playhouse itself is made of sturdy recycled cardboard sheets about 200 millimeters thick, curved into shape and fastened securely in place by a central pivoting disc. The playhouse is therefore a manageable weight and allows for easy assembling and disassembling. Essentially, the playhouse is shaped like an igloo. Its shape was inspired by household items like umbrellas, adjustable colanders for steaming food, handheld paper fans, and colour fan decks. To disassemble and pack away, the panels simply slide all around as if opening the door all the way around, and all that is left is one thick panel. I took the client's feedback on board when they asked for something a little less traditional, so I turned to household items for inspiration and trigger for creative ideas. Now, because the playhouse is constructed like a mix between an igloo and a fan deck, the size of the door depends on how wide across the first and even second panel is slid around. The panels can be slid around to get a half dome shape, creating a little play cave. The windows occur in a repetitive pattern. There is one circle window on each panel. The first panel's window is at its highest point, closest to the central disc, holding all the panels together. Then the windows get progressively lower until the last panel has a window right at its base. This downward diagonal line plays a part in the exterior decoration. The exteriors are painted to look like the day and evening sky. Now, just what stage of the day or evening is determined by where the window is on the panel. Now, the window letting light into the playhouse effectively acts as the sun in the sky. The interior is decorated a little more simply. Each alternating panel is painted with black chalkboard paint to allow the children to literally draw on the walls. Now, the remaining panel interiors are decorated with blue, orange and pink felt and can have the children's paper artworks tacked on them quite safely. As I mentioned, I had Liana and Jessie and their interests in mind when I designed this playhouse, from the colour palette to the decor. Now, there are a few key elements that I'd like to share with you in conclusion that have helped form the basis of my playhouse concept. Firstly, I wanted to use environmentally friendly materials in the structure of the playhouse to minimise my impact on the environment. The client can rest assured that their niece and nephew will be enjoying an eco-responsible playhouse. As per the brief, the playhouse structure is held together with a central pivoting disc at the top, secure but also convenient to open up, assemble and dismantle when and where required. So the playhouse can be transferred from room to room and even between the client's house and the children's parents' house. The interior decor of the grass and the day-evening sky painted exterior brings the outside world into the children's playhouse so that they have their own piece of paradise, especially handy when it's raining outside. The movable panels add dynamism and a level of interactivity to the playhouse, giving Jessie and Liana the choice of how they'd like their playhouse to look, like a sheltering cave or a private dome. No adults allowed. The uncluttered interior and exterior design of the playhouse leaves room to encourage the children to use their imaginations in creating their own fun and new adventures. A soft artificial grass mat gives the children a cushioned area where they can sit, play, read or lie down. And finally, the decor, the use of vibrant colours and multiple textures, engages the children's senses of sight and touch, especially important for young and imaginative minds. Now, this playhouse design is perfect for Liana and Jessie because it's a fun little hub of things that they love, and it's perfect for the parents when they need a little relaxation time for themselves. Now, the client can certainly enjoy knowing that this gift will be very well received indeed.